Why is it not going? No. Hold up, my music ain't going. This is kind of scary. Why? Why aren't you going, homie? Okay. There we go. I fixed it. Now, look at the organization, y'all. I worked well. Anyways, let's get into it. So, where we left off, if I'm right, is May going to sleep? With May and Izuku going to sleep. Yeah. Okay. Hold on, let me double check just in case. Okay, yeah, I was right. Yeah. I was right. Anyways, so we begin off with Midoriya in the morning. And Midoriya wakes up pretty early just to go downstairs and just sits down. He isn't making breakfast. He's just gonna sit down for a little bit. And he's just thinking about Wakanda right now. Like, should he be worried that he won't be closer? He just doesn't really know right now. And that's when someone grabs his shoulder and it's Kaminari. He says, "Morning, man." He says, "Oh, morning, Kaminari. Sorry, I didn't make breakfast yet." And he says, "No, don't do it today. I'm probably just gonna make a bowl of cereal." And he said, "Okay." Kaminari starts walking over there and said, "So, what's on your mind?" And he says, "Can't really talk about it right now if you know why." He says, "Oh yeah, cameras and stuff." Wait, can't they even have cameras in here? He says, "Actually, I don't think they can, because that would be in privacy, wouldn't it?" And he said, "Yeah, it would. So I guess we're good." And he says, "Yeah. Hey, I'm thinking about Wakanda, man." And he says, Wakanda. Why? Like attack or something?" And he's like, "Yeah, and kind of how far I'll be from it. I mean, we're not close, but I mean, we're closer, I think. I don't really know, man." And he says, "Yeah, just don't worry, man. We will be safe. They will be safe, and if they need you, I'll cover up. I'll cover up why you disappeared, okay?" And he said, "Oh, okay then." And yeah. Midoriya goes up and gets a bowl of cereal, and they just kind of eat and hang out, just talk for a little bit. And that's when everyone starts waking up and heading down. Midoriya finally gets done with his bowl and people start coming down. And he says, "Well, I'm gonna go get my stuff and bring it down here." Kaminari said, "Yeah, probably I'll go with you." And they start walking, and Monoma and Bakugo both bump them. Monoma bumps Kaminari, and Bakugo bumps into Deku on purpose. They don't really care, so they just kept walking off, but Bakugo's pissed that he just did that. And he's pretty pissed at Monoma for bumping into the kid that he wants on his side, you know? And Bakugo, he says, "Why the hell did you bump into the electric kid?" And yeah. So... okay, but yeah, like I was saying. And Monoma says, "I don't care. He wants to be in your group, he could be in it, but I'll just keep doing it if I want to. I mean, I'm still being... doesn't matter. I'm still stronger than them, so it won't matter for me, right?" And Bakugo just scoffs at this and just walks off. Midoriya gets to his room and grabs everything he needs. The disc, his charger, and his bags. And he looks at his necklace and says, "Okay. You will be with me for a while. You will always be with me until I die, it looks like." And he laughs about it and just gets up and brings his stuff out. And that's when he opened his door, May was about to knock, but he opened it in time. And she said, "Oh, morning, Midoriya." And he said, "Oh, hey May, what's up?" She said, "Well, I was wondering if you could help me with my stuff." And he said, "Oh, yeah, just give me a second." And she said, "Okay." And then he said, "Wait, why don't you ask Kaminari?" And he said, "Oh, he's helping me already. I just kind of have a lot of stuff I'm bringing. You see, I'm kind of supposed to bring more than you guys, because I need to work on some support course stuff." And he said, "Oh, that makes sense. You're in both, huh?" She said, "Yeah." And he said, "Oh, okay then." And after Midoriya puts his stuff, he jogs down to her room, and it's just a few briefcases and some bags. So he grabs the stuff and just takes it down with Kaminari. And Kaminari at this moment is just sitting down, just talking to people. Kirishima's talking to Kaminari the most. They're just having their own conversation. And Midoriya is just laughing at this. And May says, "What's so funny, Midoriya?" And he says, "Oh, it's just how Kaminari gets along with everyone so easily. He's like Kirishima. They're like best friends, besides me, so it's fun." And she says, "Yeah, you know, I just noticed." And he said, "What's up? You don't really talk to anyone, do you?" And he says, "Oh, I guess not really. I mean, all I talk to is you and Kaminari. Sometimes I'll talk to Kirishima, maybe Tokiyami, but yeah, mostly you. I don't really talk to any of the girls besides you." And she says, "Oh, really?" She blushes about it, and the girls don't really notice about this, except for some. And some of them just get jealous about it because they're weird. Let's say like Kendo, and mostly it's 1B, class 1B, so yeah. And, where was I? Oh yeah, but anyways, and that's when Azawa comes in and says, "Hello class, the buses will be ready in a few minutes. So please hurry up. I will give you 30 minutes to grab your stuff and eat. So hurry up, please." And Azawa heads back out. And she says, "Well, at least we got our stuff ready." And he says, "Yeah." And Midoriya isn't dressed yet. He's just in his sleeping clothes. And she said, "So you gonna change or no?" And he said, "Oh yeah, I should probably do that." And he runs back to his room to go get changed. But when he opens his room, that's when he sees Monoma just in there. And Monoma's just on his bed, waiting for him. He says, "So, Midoriya, I have a few questions to ask you." And Midoriya gets suspicious instantly, and he says, "What do you want, Monoma?" He says, "So, if I may ask, I just came in here so I could borrow some stuff." And he says, "So what were you trying to take from my room?" "Oh, I was just trying to take some batteries, or just trying to look if you had some batteries. I need some for my walkie-talkie. I'm supposed to keep in contact with Tetsu." And he says, "Oh, yeah, if you need some, I have some in my drawer." And he says, "Oh, okay. And also, what's up with this tree that you've been painting, And he says, "Oh, it's just a tree I've been painting. I don't know, I just got inspiration by something." He says, "Oh, really? Can you tell me?" And he says, "Well," he's trying to think of something, and he says, "Well, when I was in middle school, we went to Africa, and this was part of their afterlife thing." And he said, "Ooh, I see. Then what's with the purple stuff coming out of it?" He says, "Oh, I guess there used to be a thing called vibranium in the old days. It's rare if they ever find it, because they never can. They've only recorded it one time, and they've used it for the dumbest thing." And he says, "What's that?" "A watch. So someone has a vibranium watch. But it's pretty strong, so yeah." And he says, "Oh." Midoriya gives him a few batteries and says, "Okay, next time ask to be in here." And Monoma says with a big smile, "I will," and leaves. Izuku gets stressed, but also looks for anything else that might have been stolen by him. He looks around quickly and just says, "Okay, thank God I had my disc with me." And yeah, after he gets dressed, he comes back downstairs. Mina and Kirishima and Kaminari were just waiting for him. And he said, "Oh, hey Kirishima, you gonna be joining us, I guess, on the bus?" And he said, "Yeah, I was pretty bored, so why not?" And he said, "Okay." And Asawa comes in and says, "Okay, class, let's get going. If the people that aren't going, please study during this break." And everyone said, "Wait, who's not going?" And he said, "I don't know, there might have been someone, but everyone hop in, please." And they start putting their bags in, and they all sit together. And there's like 3 buses, let's say, probably 4. There's like 4 buses, and it's like an RV type of thing, so like you could have a booth, just like 2 booths in each one, and it could like hold 6 people, so yeah. And then there's just beds and yeah, whatever. It's like RVs, but yeah. And they start driving, and they start all going. And they're just talking, and Midoriya is really tired for some reason. He says, "Hey, I'm gonna probably lay in one of those beds. If y'all need me, come tap me, okay?" And they said, "Yeah, okay." And Kaminari, after Mizuku left, he said, he must have not got sleep. I wonder why." And May said, "Yeah, that's really interesting, actually." And Midoriya lays in one of the beds and just falls asleep. And that's when he's in the afterlife. He says, "Whoa." He says, "Yeah, what's up, guys?" And they all come out and say, "Midoriya, we have to tell you something about the vibranium." He says, "Yeah? Well, you told the kid, Monoma, right?" He says, "Yeah. That watch, we have it still. I could give it to you, but that watch is very good. The watch just gives you some abilities, I guess." He says, "What do you mean?" "You see, inside the watch, a long time ago, we added part of the panther, I guess you could say. You see, when you use the suit, when you use our powers, you have a strong connection with it. And inside the watch amplifies it a lot. So, if we give it to you, but the thing is, if we give it to you, it might corrupt you by a little. It might start corrupting you." And he said, "What do you mean?" He says, "You see, the last person to wear this was the person that betrayed the Wakanda. We exterminated them, hopefully, but we exterminated them, we think. We don't know. This person that we tried to exterminate was really hard. We lost a few soldiers. We lost a lot of soldiers trying to kill him. But when this watch was with this trader, we made sure it corrupted a little bit. But some people have been able to surpass it, and we think you are able to. So when you're able to teleport and ask for the watch, it'll amplify your connection to the panther, and you will be able to summon some panthers at your aid." And he said, "Oh, okay then. Is that all you need?" He says, "Yeah. Also," and that's when Panther says, "Also, you're at a gas station, so wake up, kid." And he said, "Okay." And he's back in the normal world. He says, in Midoriya's head, he says, "That's interesting." And yeah, he gets up and goes to the bathroom. And when he gets out, he just grabs some candy and just heads back out. And he's just sitting back down at the table that he was at, but he didn't notice that he went to the wrong bus. And after everyone started going, he noticed that he was just in a girl bus. And he said, "Oh man." And they all said, "Midoriya, why did you come into the bus?" And he said, "I thought this was my bus. I'm sorry. I just kind of woke up from a nap before we got here." And they said, "Oh, okay. Sorry if we disturb you a little." And he says, "No. I'm probably just about to go back into a bed." And they said, "No, it's okay." He said, "Okay." He just grabs his headphones and starts listening to music. And that's when he starts texting. He texted May and said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm not in the right bus. I'm in the bus that just has girls, so yeah." And she says, "No worries. Me and Kaminari and Kirishima, I'll just tell Kaminari and Kirishima." And yeah. And let's say Harigiri was right beside him, and he didn't even notice. And Harigiri says, "So, why are you texting May?" And he says, "Oh, hey Harigiri, I didn't see you." She says, "Yeah, that's kind of my specialty." And he laughs about it and says, "Well, I'm just keeping communication with her. So has Kaminari and I guess Kirishima." And that's when the girls kind of start asking questions about Midoriya's past in a way. He says, "So why does Bakugo call you Deku?" And he says, "Oh, you see, he always bullied me when I was younger. So, it doesn't really matter now." And he said, did he?" And they said, "Yeah, he even told me one time to kill myself, but I kind of get over that easily." And they said, "That's not really cool." And he says, "Yeah, but it's Kachan, so it doesn't really matter." He said, "Who's Kachan?" And he says, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's my old nickname I gave him a while ago. I just keep calling him Bakugo." But, yeah. And the girls just ask questions about him and more about his past and how. And Midori just tells him how he went to Africa that one time and nothing really happened there. But in reality, he knows what happened. The best thing that ever happened to him. And yeah. And then let's say a little while, they finally get to the airport and they all get out and Midori runs to the actual bus that he was in and grabs his stuff and goes in the airport. He catches up to his group and just walks in with them. They get checked in, get searched like everything. And yeah. Finally, when Midoriya got into the plane, he just sat down and went to sleep pretty quickly. He didn't really want to talk, he was just tired. What time is it? 6:16, jeez. But yeah. And let's say after that, they just started going, and Mina and Kaminari sat with him, and he was just sleeping, and May was just thinking about Midoriya, and just was staring at him. Kaminari noticed this and said, "So, May, what is your idea? So, what type of guy do you like?" She said, "Oh, I guess a smart guy, pretty strong, and funny. A guy that actually likes me a lot, and likes me for my personality." He said, "Oh, really? Okay." And she said, "Why you ask?" And he says, "Oh, I was just wondering because you were just staring at Midoriya." And she starts turning beet red, and she says, "Well, I was just making sure he isn't dying," laughing it off. He says, "Yeah, sure." She says, "What about you then?" He says, "Oh, for my personality, my dumbness for sure. Need someone to control that with me. And someone that just watches over me if I'm hurt." And he kind of just looks over towards Jiro, but looks away quickly. And May says, "Oh, I see." He says, "What?" He says, "So, what's that girl's name with the earplug things?" And he said, "Oh, Jiro? Why?" And she said, "Oh, no reason. And he said, "Okay." Midoriya wakes up finally and just says, "Hey guys, I'm up." And he stretches and accidentally hits Kaminari in the head. And he says, "Ow, man." He says, "Sorry, just stretching." He says, "Yeah, whatever." And they finally stop after a little bit. And that's when they're in America. They're finally in America. And that's when you see it. Queens itself, baby. You see that they're in Queens, and they finally get out, and there's limos for them. And Azawa says, "Okay, enter the limos, please. We'll be going to the hotel, and then you'll be just staying there for tonight, and then we'll be starting everything tomorrow. So please get rested. If you need anything, everything's free pretty much, because the school's paying it." And they said, "Oh, okay." And yeah, there's a boys' side and a girls' side, obviously. The boys settle in, and yeah. And Midoriya was about to go check out their gym to see what it looks like. But that's when Kaminari grabbed him and said, "Hey, let's go to the pool. I heard everyone's going there, so let's go." He said, "Yeah, is the gym towards that area?" And he says, "Oh yeah, it's like right across the room." He said, "Okay then." And Midoriya finally goes and stops by the gym before he goes in. Kaminari leaves him, but he stops by the gym. And he looks at it and he says, "It's a nice gym. Probably a workout tomorrow in the morning." And that's when he enters, and he just sees everyone in their swimsuits and looks around. He says, "Where's Kaminari?" And he saw someone but looked away, but looked back quickly. And he saw May. And he turned bright red. And May went up to him and she said, "Hey, you okay? You're really red." Right? And she's kind of thinking that he saw someone, but she doesn't know it was her. And she said, "Hey, you okay? You're really red." He says, Yeah, I'm okay." just something caught me off surprise. And she said, oh, okay, come on, let's go in. He says, yeah, give me a second. Let me take off my shirt and stuff. And she said, oh, yeah, true. And he drops his towel and his phone and takes off his shirt. Everyone and people that looked at Midoriya stopped for a second and just saw how shredded he was. Mayu turned red quickly. And he said, hey, you're red now. What's wrong with you? You not feeling good? And she said, no. Something caught me off attention too. And he said, oh, okay. And May grabs his hand and says, come on, and jumps in and dragging him with her. Kaminari finally said, hey, Midoriya, over here. And he said, oh, hey. And Kaminari swim towards him, and they just swim for a little while. And that's when Ida says, okay, I'm probably gonna head out. And let's say that's when Tetsu says, wait, let's have a race real quick. I won't be in because I'll probably sink with my quirk. And Kirishima says, yeah, let's do that. I won't be in either because I will sink. And everyone was kind of down. The girls would have just cheered people on. And yeah, and everyone knew if they were having a swimming contest, the winner would probably be Sue out of them because Sue's literally a frog. And yeah, and all the boys that wanted to do it got together. And yeah, people started going. And Bakugo, let's say the first match was Bakugo versus someone. It was like a tournament type of style. No losers bracket, just the winners go on. Bakugo wins his, Todoroki, Ida, yeah. And let's say Midoriya wins his. And everyone was a little shocked how fast he swam. But Midoriya wasn't even trying to swim that fast. And when it got to the finals, it was Ida, Todoroki, and Midoriya, plus Bakugo. And yeah. And Kirishima and Tetsu said, on your marks, get ready. All the girls are cheering, getting ready to cheer on people. May's just watching and kind of smiling at Midoriya. Kaminari notices this and says, May, Izuku? And she says, no, just cheering on him. He says, okay. And he starts yelling for Izuku too. And that's when Kirishima and Tetsu say, go! And they all start going, but they're not swimming. You see, Ida's riding the rope like he did in the show. Baku is not even touching the water. He's just exploding his hands. Todoroki is just freezing his side of the water and starts going. And they are ahead of Midoriya for a few seconds because Midoriya waits. And he backs up and dives, breaking the ice when he jumps in. And he is at the wall instantly. Everyone's in shock that Midoriya just won in a split second. And Sue looks at him and says, wow, you're a fast swimmer. Not as fast as me, because I could go really fast if I want to, but is that your max speed? He says, about 75-ish. And they were surprised. What's 100 look like? Because Sue said, that's interesting, because that's about my 50% your speed right there. He says, oh, really? And she said, yeah. May kind of gets jealous about this, but she doesn't really care. And Midoriya says, well, good night, guys. I'm probably going to go to bed. And he leaves, picks up his stuff, and dries himself off and starts going. Everyone starts leaving pretty much right after him. And May, before she goes to bed, runs to the boys' side and knocks on Midoriya's door. Midoriya doesn't answer, and she opens it. Says, I'm coming in. And no, Midoriya wasn't there. She's confused. And that's when she heard the shower, and she said, oh, he's in the shower. Should probably leave real quick. But the door opens, the bathroom door, and he says, oh, crap. I forgot my phone up for my music. And she looks away instantly. And there's Midoriya, but with a towel on. And he says, May, what are you doing in here? She says, sorry, I was just about to leave because you weren't in here, and then I heard the door. I thought you were in the shower. And he says, it's okay. What you need? And she said, I'll just ask you in the morning. And he said, oh, okay then. And she leaves, and Midoriya just takes a shower. And after that, he watches a little bit of TV and goes to bed. I'm sorry that this episode won't be that long. I got some things to do. So yeah. See y'all, I guess. See you guys.